This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. As always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my friend, my partner in crime, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, my brother? How are you?
What's happening? It is am I echoing?
A little bit. I mean, but
yeah.
You know,
This room is fairly empty as I'm trying to build out a studio in here, and
it's good enough for government work. I wouldn't
as long as it's good enough.
Yeah. No. It's good enough. We'll soundproof it later. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. Special holiday edition of Quality Hang. So coming to you a little bit earlier than usual, but coming to you nonetheless. And as always, we are brought to you by the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. And at all 3 locations, they all do the same great things. Fantastic food. I mean, fantastic. Delicious even. From a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that, if you're a beer snob or beer in your thing, you're going to find something that you like. They also have full bar at all 3 locations. And as far as being diverse, man, the live entertainment, the live music, whatever you are looking for entertainment-wise, you can find it at all 3 Hop Monk locations. So check them out online to see what they have coming up as far as touring acts from around the country. There might even be a local act that tickles your fancy, or you might want to go there for comedy mic, or you might fancy yourself a comedian and might want to go there for open mic comedy night, or country line dancing, or science buzz cafe night. Whatever you're into, you can find it at all 3 Hop Monk locations. So again, check them out online at hopmonk.com. Definitely follow them on all of the socials, but the best way to experience Hop Monk is to, experience Hop Monk. Check them out in Novato, Sebastopol, or in the fine town of Sonoma, in the fine county of Sonoma. How was your weekend, brother? How's your holiday been so far?
Not bad. I wasn't offended by anything I saw today, so.
2 things here. It's sad that, because I laugh because it's funny, because it's true, because it sure seems like there's a certain segment of the population that just doesn't know how to act on this day, or how to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, and social media exacerbates it. So I laugh because you're waiting for that cringe-worthy moment to show up. So that hasn't happened, Marcus.
I'm shocked
to you yet, but it's going to happen over the course of this holiday edition of Quality Hang, because I do have something that's going to make you go, really? It's a part of bruh, really. There is going to be an MLK themed. I don't want to give it away, but there's going to be something that's MLK themed that is going to make you cringe, and it might even just make you. It might even make you mad.
It could,
but at a minimum, it's definitely going to make you cringe. So yeah, it's. I don't think we're alone in terms of this holiday being one where you just like, I hope I don't see something that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly it.
I hope I can invoke the spirit of Dr. King and stay nonviolent. And I really hope that there's not something that's presented to me that will make me go back on that principle.
It never fails. Somebody will post something crazy, and I'm going, we just, it wasn't like this, was it? It wasn't like it. Yeah, it's always been like this.
It's always been like this. But,
you
know, there used to be a time where this holiday wasn't a thing. And there was a time when there were people in positions of great might and great power who did everything they could to absolutely make this day not be possible. Glad that better people prevailed. And really, there's one man you have to point at and go, if it wasn't for his efforts, we probably wouldn't have this day of remembrance, and that's Stevie Wonder. If
Exactly.
Stevie Wonder had not dropped his tribute song to Dr. King, Happy Birthday, and if he had not crusaded for this day to happen, maybe we would have it in the big 2026, but it wouldn't have happened when it did.
Oh, honestly, it would be impossible to get done now. Like under this current.
Now it would be impossible. I'm saying that so when did we get it? 1983, 1984? I forget exactly.
Something like that.
No, my point is that we might have gotten it, let's say, in the, once we got out of Reagan and Bush, once you got to Clinton, we would have gotten it then, is my point. Here in 2026, no. We absolutely would not have gotten it. But if it weren't for Stevie Wonder's efforts, the holiday wouldn't have come at the time in which it did in the early to mid 80s. Let's get to some sporting news. We'll give you an update here on the 2026 National Championship game happening in Miami between the University of Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana University Hoosiers. 8:09 left to go in the third quarter. Indiana 10, Miami 7. So we'll keep you updated as far as that's concerned. Miami just scored a touchdown a little while ago to cut into Indiana's seemingly insurmountable 10-0 lead, because Indiana's
a better game than I expected it to be
on both sides of the ball. Yeah, no, it's a defensive battle, and it's happening in the trenches. And there's another sack of Mendoza right there. Indiana's no joke. And the U that Miami's bringing, they're bringing it on the defensive line. They're bringing it defensively. They're running the ball and trying to keep it out of Carson Beck's hands. So, yeah, if you like defensive football and you like an underdog, even though Indiana is the number one team in the country, but they still have that underdog status because they're not a blue blood. But if you like underdogs in defense, this game is definitely for you. Let's start with the San Francisco 49ers and do a post-mortem on them. And let me start the discussion about the Niners by saying I was dead wrong. I had no thought that they would get wiped the way that they did at the hands of the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks who, and what we saw on Saturday was just an extension of what we saw a couple of weeks ago in Week 18. Seattle is athletically and schematically, defensively. I'll get to the other side of the ball in just a second. But defensively, they have everything they need athletically and schematically to make sure that the Niners can't do anything. Niners like to run the ball outside. Niners could not do that because Seattle, they have guys who can tackle, and they play the run with 5 or 6 DBs, and they play with a light box. They play with 7, but that doesn't hurt them. So they took away the outside run for the Niners for the second game in a row. Niners just got absolutely beasted in the middle of their offensive line. I thought Trent Williams coming back would make a difference. Trent Williams only gave up 2 pressures, Marcus, but the Niners gave up 19 pressures overall. Leonard Williams and that Seattle defensive line. Again, they continued what they did in Week 18. They whipped the Niners offensive line at the line of scrimmage, so the Niners couldn't run the ball. They had nothing downfield, even with Ricky Pearsall coming back. And with Seattle being as good as they are in terms of running the ball and being able to shield Sam Darnold, for lack of a better way of putting it, it was just an absolute ass kicking that I did not see coming. I thought the Niners would have a little bit more fight and a little bit something extra for them because they got Trent Williams back, because they got Ricky Pearsall back, and because they were seeing him for the second time in less than 2 weeks. None of that made a difference. They got whooped.
Yeah, I don't. One of the things I really like about Seattle, and I've never been. Let me be clear. I've never in my life been a Seattle Seahawks fan. As a lifelong Raider fan, I hate everything about that team. So, but one of the things I do like about them is when you watch them play, I hate to say it, I'm an old school dude. I like seeing that type of football. And I think that type of football will always work. Run, defense, pass when you got to. And that team reminds me of a team from 1986. period. That's an 80s football team, and it works. And Sam Darnold doesn't have to win the game. And people talk about game management. Like every quarterback is a game management. The best QBs manage the game best. Your talent is irrelevant. And these dudes are the real deal. I don't know how long they can keep it together, but they got something going right here, man. And they are effective.
And they are, they are obviously with 4 teams left. They are, without a doubt, a Super Bowl caliber team. There are no tricks. There is no hocus pocus. There is no, hey, man, they're just getting by. They whoop you on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Because I haven't even gotten to what Seattle was able to do offensively in the trenches. And we'll get to the Niners and what they need to do going forward here. But Seattle, very good offensive line. They run the ball behind that offensive line. Charbonnet, or was it Kenneth Walker? I forget what one of their running backs. I think it was it Charbonnet? I think it was Charbonnet. Tore his ACL. And that's going to hamper them. But Kenneth Walker is a very, very good back. They run the ball very, very well. They have speed, especially when compared to the Niners. And again, we'll get to what the Niners need to do to deal with Seattle and the Rams going forward. And that is increasing their lacking in team speed. But Seattle, they've got speed. Obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigba is extraordinarily good at his job. They're coordinated very well by another member of the Kubiak family. It's a well-oiled machine. And by the way, and we saw this at the beginning of the game, they're the best special teams unit, Seattle is, in the NFL. Now, the Niners were the second best, using all the metrics and not just, and using, kick return, punt return, kick coverage, punt coverage, obviously kicking field goals. The Niners were number 2, but they had been leaking some oil, the Niners, as far as their kick and their punt coverage had been concerned. And then we saw that hurt the Niners in the absolute worst way, at the absolute worst time, at the very beginning of the game. So we'll get to the Niners here in just a second. But that Seattle outfit, it's going to be hard to beat them because they don't make mistakes. And they force you into making mistakes. And if Sam Darnold is not a mistake maker, I don't know how you beat him, quite frankly. I really don't.
You had a really good point when you said they just line it up with no tricks, and just come at you. And it reminds me a lot of how the Dallas Cowboys used to play. You knew exactly what they were going to do, and you couldn't do nothing about it because they were just bigger, stronger, faster than your team. And go ahead. And no tricks defensively either.
Nothing. It looks a little goofy to see them out there stopping your run game with 6 DBs out there, but that's really just line that shit up and run it. We gonna hunt you down and we gonna tackle you, and we're not gonna let you get behind us. We gonna keep everything in front, and there's nowhere for you to go. The Niners tried to play outside the numbers to spread them out a little bit and then attack the middle. And Seattle said, no. We're gonna play this game in a phone booth, and the Niners are just not equipped to do that.
And the one thing that they've taken away from the 49ers the last couple of times they played is to run after the catch. That's the 49ers' bread and butter. Mm-hmm. They weren't able to do it at all these last couple of days.
Yeah. And so for the Niners, 12-5 season, with all of those injuries, offensively, defensively, for the Niners to win the games that they won, to have the record that they had, to be in a position to get the number 1 seed in Week 18, to beat the Eagles, to get to the divisional round, and all of that is a remarkable feat. There are teams that suffered a lot of injuries this season and didn't nearly have the success. The Lions are the first squad I think of. There would be years where if the Niners lost George Kittle, they were losing that game. Didn't have that this year. If the Niners lost their quarterback, by the way, Indiana, did they just block a punt for a touchdown? They just blocked a punt for a touchdown. Extra point upcoming, 16-7. The Indiana Hoosiers are are 17 minutes away from winning college football's national championship. Those words would never tumbled out of my mouth or anybody else's mouth for that matter. So, insane. Yeah, that is absolutely insane.
I want you to take a look at Jesus M2159, his comment about the core not being number one anymore. And CMC is not number one, and Kittle is not a number one tight end. I don't believe that. I don't believe
that's wrong. Christian McCaffrey had over 1,000 yards on the ground while being one of the most contacted running backs either at or behind the line of scrimmage. He was only averaging 3.7 yards per carry, yet he still got 1,000 yards. Now, you're saying it's a 17-game season. That's not impressive. Christian McCaffrey is going to be 30 years old this June. For Christian McCaffrey to play behind that offensive line and to not have Brock Purdy, to not have George Kittle, to not have a downfield passing game, he was their passing game. So for Christian McCaffrey to basically have 1,000-yard rushing and almost 1,000-yard season, he is an absolute number one. But he's going to need some help. They cannot do that next year, even if McCaffrey stays healthy, which that's the irony of all ironies for the Niners this season, that they lost all of those skill position players this year offensively. Yet Christian McCaffrey was the one that was there for every single game. So the reason that the Niners offensively, they were still able to be one of the best offenses in football, and they were able to be, for a good stretch of the season, the best passing offense in football without Pearsall, without Ayuk, without Debo, without George Kittle for a stretch, is because they had Christian McCaffrey for all 17 regular season games and the 2 playoff games that they played. In terms of George Kittle, I still think he's the best tight end all around in football. He's an inline run-blocking tight end at his core that still catches the football as well as these other young stud tight ends out there. That boy down in Vegas, Kyle Pitts, the cat down in Arizona, Trey McBride. They're all great pass catchers. George Kittle is just as good as they are. When they didn't have Pearsall, the Niners, George Kittle was their best one-on-one numbers to boundaries, man beater, outside threat. He was, along with Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, he was their best red zone target. So, Jesus, we're both in agreement that we disagree. Yeah. The thing is, though, for the Niners, because Seattle ain't going nowhere and the Rams ain't going nowhere, and you got to deal with them 2, possibly 3 times over the course of a season, the Niners have to find a way to get faster because they look like they're running in molasses compared to Seattle. They have to find a way to get faster, and they have to find a way to get better on the interior of that defensive line. They got a first-round pick, 1 first-round pick, 1 second-round pick, 1 third-round pick, and 2 4th and 5th round picks, if my memory is serving me correctly. They got to get themselves another interior offensive lineman. They've got to find a way to get some speed at wide receiver. And I haven't even started to talk about what I think they need to do, Marcus, as far as their defensive backfield is concerned. The Niners have to get better, faster, younger. They have to do that over the course of this season, because if they don't, what we saw against Seattle is going to happen again, and the problems they have with the Rams are going to be exacerbated even more. With Kittle, the only thing now is when he comes back, what will he be? I mean, he was already not young, but now with this injury in football, I don't know what we're going to get when he comes back. That still doesn't mean I don't think he'll come back and be a great player. But what will he be? And I also feel like it's a legitimate question, sure.
And the loss of Warner and Bosa was felt a lot in this game.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes. Yeah. It was felt all season long, but the Niners had a couple of things going for them offensively. They could put up points, and they could shield that defense and keep it off of the field. The Niners were one of the league leaders over the course of the season in time of possession. They were the league leader in terms of number of plays per drive. I actually have the stat right here. Niners are number 1 with the bullet, averaging 6.82 plays per drive. You combine that with time of possession. You're controlling the clock. You're controlling the ball. They were number one team. Were the Niners number one? Yeah, number one team in the red zone. And all of that got you points, and it shielded your defense. But once they were unable to rely on their offense to do that, like we saw in these last two games against the Seahawks, the Niners defense was just under siege. And it wasn't just Bosa and Warner. When they lost Michael Williams, any shot they had of being able to rely on their run defense, just as this is what's going to happen, and we could get the ball back to our offense, they pretty much cratered that. They were able to, the Niners, do enough defensively because they got some good performances at times from certain guys.
Yeah.
But I also think that there was a Robert Saleh effect, and we'll get to Robert Saleh in just a second. There was a Robert Saleh effect because, he knew how to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And he would, the bend but don't break thing was real. And while the Niners would give up yards from 35 to the red zone, to their own 20, once they got into the red zone, they bowed up. And you give credit to the players, but you also give credit to Robert Saleh because he would send timely blitzes. He would coordinate the hell out of those situations. But again, you can only get away with that for so long, and you're really not going to get away with it when you see a superior opponent. And the Seahawks, Week 18 and last Saturday, they were 100% the superior opponent.
Yeah, they don't have anything to hold their heads down about. This is overall, all things considered, a great season for them. Just rewind it next year. But next year, if this happens, you're going to start hearing the Shanahan must go chants.
Oh, you're already hearing them now.
Fair. Yeah. Fair.
No, I'm not saying it's right. Don't get me wrong.
You're right.
You're already hearing them now, and I'm sure I've said this before. But the Venn diagram of people who want Kyle Shanahan fired and people who want Steve Kerr fired, that Venn diagram, those two circles are sitting right on top of each other.
They are victims of their own success, and people take these guys for granted. And you think you can just throw coaches like this out and just easily replace them with what? With who? Like either one of those guys, if they're not working tomorrow, they will have jobs tomorrow.
100%.
And yeah, it's silly, but I know that uproar is going to get loud.
Well, I mean, it could get as loud as it wants to. It don't mean shit to the people inside the Niner organization.
Yeah.
And we played the soundbite on post game a couple of nights ago from Trent Williams. And listen, if you're not going to listen and believe Trent Williams when he says Kyle Shanahan is a big reason why, with all the injuries and all the things that went against him, that they had the season they had. And he said it's not just about his game planning and his play calling on Sundays, although that's a big part of it. Trent Williams said it's also about what he does during the week. Getting guys motivated, staying in guys' ear, having them believe that just because you lost Bosa and you lost Warner and you lost Kittle for a bit, and you lost this guy and that guy and over again, you still have a chance to win. That's important. And it's not just some slappy saying that. It's not just me or some observer saying that. It's one of the greatest offensive linemen in the history of the NFL. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Who I can only assume does not suffer fools gladly. So if you're not going to believe Trent Williams when he says that Kyle Shanahan is a great coach, should be the coach of the year, and is a big reason why the Niners had the season they had, if you're not going to believe Trent Williams and you're a Niner fan, then you just hate Kyle Shanahan. And that's fine. But hating Kyle Shanahan is not a true way to analyze and be appreciative of the job he does, not just on Sundays, but the days leading up to Sunday, which obviously is an important day.
Yeah, and also you got to shout out Brock Purdy. Brock, that kid did everything in his power. And under the circumstances, I thought he played well. I thought he did everything that he could to keep that team moving and in the game. But sometimes it goes that way.
Any question about whether he is a franchise quarterback? Any question about whether he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league? That question should be answered to you in the affirmative, just based on the way he played. And again, what was the knock on Brock Purdy? He's a system quarterback, or he's a game manager, or he is only Brock Purdy because he played with the Avengers, McCaffrey and Kittle and Ayuk and Debo. He's a product of that. This year, and this guy helped. Don't get me wrong, because like I said, he had 1,000 yards on the ground, and he's one of the best slot receivers in football too. Having Christian McCaffrey do both of those things in your offense makes your offense better and makes you a better quarterback. I'm not denying that. That's just one dude. Didn't have Kittle for 7-8 games. Obviously, it didn't have Ayuk the entire season. Obviously, you didn't have Debo for the entire season. You had Ricky Pearsall sparingly. He was out there, and Mac Jones for this matter. They were out there throwing passes to Juwan Jennings, who, by the way, had a hell of a season, Kendrick Bourne, Demarcus Robinson, Sky Moore. Jake Tonjes. All right, I'll throw the tight end in there too. That's what Brock Purdy was dealing with. Brock Purdy's arm strength, without question. Brock Purdy's anticipation. He's the best in the league at making those layered intermediate midfield throws, which I think, other than throwing from the right hash to the left sideline, that layered intermediate throw is the hardest throw in football, because you fuck that up and you get that wrong.
Somebody snatching that.
Going back the other way for 6.
Yes. The guy has the two most important things that any great quarterback should have is decision making and accuracy, and he has both of those.
And he pushes that bad boy downfield. He averaged over 8 yards per attempt. That may not sound like a lot. You were pushing up there 8.5, close to 9 yards per attempt in a game over the course of a season. You are pushing that thing down the field. And he was without Ricky Pearsall, without George Kittle for a good chunk of time, without Brandon Ayuk, without Debo Samuel. Like I said, his decision-making, his processing. What I was really impressed with Brock Purdy this year was his movement, and not just scrambling or running, but his movement in the pocket. But the Niners' offensive line, as you heard me talk about, it's got to be better. Brock Purdy thrived in spite of that offensive line. If he wasn't able to move in the pocket the way that he did, Brock Purdy might have gotten hurt because of how bad the Niners were in pass protection, particularly, if not exclusively, up the middle. Brock Purdy, as one of the top quarterbacks in the league, especially based on what we've seen so far in these playoffs, particularly what we saw last weekend in the divisional, Brock Purdy's status as one of the top quarterbacks in the league this year cemented it. And again, if you don't think that and you're a Niner fan, I'm just inclined to believe that you hate Brock Purdy, and you can do that. But I think if you're coming at it from a point of, I just don't like this guy because he doesn't do this, that, or whatever, when he's proven that he can actually do the job, then I just don't think you are fairly analyzing and being accurate in terms of what he can bring to an offense, which is a lot.
Yes, sir. I mean, some of the plays he was making under duress yesterday were insane. Insane.
The Niners' offensive line gave up 19 pressures.
Dude, this is why I keep saying he reminds me of Joe Montana so much. Those were the types of plays that Joe Montana would make on the regular. And it's amazing to watch this kid. I think he could end up as a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I'm not exaggerating. This is the best quarterback the 49ers have had since Steve Young, period.
I'm looking here at these pressures. Trent Williams gave up 2. Jake Brendel gave up 2. This is according to Pro Football Focus. Colt McKivitz out there on the right side gave up 5 pressures. And Spencer Burford at left guard. And I thought that Spencer Burford was going to have a better game because Trent Williams was back. Trent Williams, if you don't remember, didn't play in Week 18. So I thought Trent being back would be better for Spencer Burford. Boy, was I wrong. Because like I said, he gave up 6 pressures. The Niners have to address that left guard position. They like Jake Brindle at center. Some days I do, some days I don't. You're not going to draft a guy, stick him in there at center, and have him do a very tough job in a very tough Kyle Shanahan offense.
Yeah.
Dominic Pooney, there was a little bit of regression there this year at right guard, but I'm chalking that up to him being hurt for the first half of the year. And I think even though he got better, healthier, I guess, I'm guessing a full off season and a healthy Dominic Pooney, knock on wood, from start to finish, I'm fine with Dominic Pooney. But Trent Williams said he's going to come back. And not that you're going to find Trent Williams' replacement in the draft, because there is no replacing Trent Williams, but you got to start thinking about the future as far as that offensive line is concerned at left tackle. And you got to think about the now as far as left guard, because you have a legit quarterback in Brock Purdy. So this is a long-winded way, per usual, of me saying for the Niners, dealing with the Rams and dealing with the Seahawks, they got to get faster offensively, and they've got to get weapons to take advantage of what they have in Brock Purdy and what they have left in terms of time with Christian McCaffrey, with Trent Williams, and with George Kittle whenever he comes back next year.
Yep. It's okay. Better luck next year. We just strap it on and see what happens. Regardless, the 49ers will be in the mix somehow, some way. And just to be in the mix every year is a blessing. And I hope 49er fan appreciates that.
Yeah, I think they do. Losing the way that they did to the Seahawks makes it worse. It's just, our girl Patty from Napa, she's still mad. I had it up there where she said it's Monday. I'm pissed and I'm annoyed. That feeling's not going to go away for a while. Yeah, it was a great season. But again, the problem is the Seahawks ain't going nowhere. And the Rams ain't going nowhere. And for two of the best teams in football to reside in your division and in your conference, that means you have to find a way to level up to those guys. And what the Niners did this year, hopefully they're not going to have to replicate it, because hopefully, guys, this team won't be as injured. But even if the Niners are healthy, you clearly see what Seattle has cooking. Like I said, the speed of Seattle on both sides of the ball, comparing that to the Niners, it was just it's stunning. It's glaring. It's obvious. The Rams are young and hungry, especially on the defensive side of the ball. What they're doing offensively, Matthew Stafford, unless his back screws up, Matthew Stafford is still out there slinging that thing. I mean, he made a couple of insane throws in the game against the Bears on Sunday. Puka Nacua, he's not going anywhere. That's going to be a problem for the Niners defensive back. So while this season was great, the future, I don't think it's going to be terrible, but there is work to be done because of what you have in your conference, or what you have in your division in Seattle and in the Rams. So
this is a competent organization. I think that they are seeing whatever weaknesses that you and I see, and they will address it. Like, I'm not worried about these guys. They'll take care of business.
Updates, national championship game. It's kind of cooking. It was Carson Beck threw a pick six that resulted in a touchdown for Indiana, giving them 17 points. But Miami just came back and scored a touchdown, 17-14, with about 14 minutes and change left to go in the fourth quarter. But Indiana is driving. So what was a line of scrimmage defensive slugfest in the first half with Indiana jumping out to a 10-0 lead has now turned into some sort of an offensive track meet. Indiana 17, Miami 14, 10 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the 2026 National Championship game. Moving on here to other NFL-related matters. Coaching changes.
All over the place.
We had a surprise firing. It was a surprise to me. A lot of people didn't seem to be surprised that the Buffalo Bills fired Sean McDermott earlier today. So
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised too. There's a lot of people saying that they should fire the guy who put the team together and not fire Sean McDermott. It's not Sean McDermott's fault that Josh Allen decided to play well, like Josh Allen, and turn the ball over. But with McDermott being fired, that makes it 10 jobs that were open in the NFL this season. Now, a few of them have been filled. Today, Miami hired Jeff Hafley. With Miami hiring Hafley, Atlanta hiring Kevin Stefanski, that was a surprise. And the Giants hiring John Harbaugh, not much of a surprise. You now have 7 vacancies open. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, surprisingly to me, Marcus's Raiders, the Tennessee Titans, and the Arizona Cardinals. I have this graphic up here with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen because nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. These are the last 2 NFL MVPs, and they will both be coached by a new person this upcoming season. Ain't nobody see that coming.
I mean, I would have lost all my money if I bet.
All of it.
I mean, it's insane. And those are the jobs that everybody's going to want.
Mm-hmm.
The jobs that everybody should want. Well, you go win with the MVP. Yeah, that's where I'm at. The best QB, that's where I'm going.
And that leads me to the next question for the Niners and what they will have to deal with going forward, because now Robert Saleh, who's already interviewed with the Baltimore Ravens, scheduled to interview with the Cardinals. Obviously, that job isn't nearly as attractive as the Ravens job. He interviewed with the Tennessee Titans. You would think that the Buffalo Bills would try and interview Robert Saleh. You know, the thought was Robert Saleh coming back that this year with the Niners, there would not be a slew of attractive jobs opening up. So the thought would be that Robert Saleh would stay longer than a year. Well, if you have a chance to coach one of these 2 guys,
you
have a chance, if he's feeling that it's worth it, to go coach Cam Ward down in Tennessee. Or if Robert Saleh is feeling like Raiders with that number 1 pick, I kind of like the direction they're going under, what Tom Brady has going on. Maybe he feels like Fernando Mendoza, who, by the way, just bulldozed into the end zone to give the Indiana Hoosiers a 23-14 lead with the extra point upcoming, 9:18 left. If he feels like Robert Saleh, Fernando Mendoza is a foundational piece he can work with.
Cal should have paid him.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. He's already the highest paid defensive coordinator in the league. Nothing is going to be worth more than the cachet of being an NFL head coach, in essence, being your own boss, even though you have an owner and a general manager. So if I'm Robert Saleh, you're looking at these. If Baltimore says, we want you.
That Baltimore gig tomorrow.
If Buffalo says, we want you. You take that Buffalo gig tomorrow. If Tennessee throws a bunch of money at you, if Miami throws a bunch of money at you, if the Raiders throw a bunch of money at you, notice I'm leaving the Cardinals and the Browns out of it. And I don't think the Steelers, they kind of have their archetype. They want a young guy in his 30s defensive coach. But even the Steelers, if the Steelers' money is right, you're Robert Saleh. There's no way, in my estimation, no way you stay with the Niners as a defensive coordinator, and that would be a blow to the Niners for the upcoming season.
Yeah, man. I actually don't think that Cleveland job is as unattractive as everybody else does, just because they got that defense and they actually have some talent. If they let Robert Saleh do what he does, I can see them being pretty good.
Well, here's why, and you're Marcus, you're 100% correct. Here's why I discount Cleveland and the Cardinals.
Cards.
Robert Saleh just got fired from one of the worst organizations, not just in the NFL, but in all professional sports. You know who's not too far behind the Jets? The Browns. Yeah. In terms of being one of the worst organizations in North American professional sports. You know who's not too far behind the Browns, or maybe even ahead of the Browns as far as one of the worst ownership groups in all of American professional sports? The Cardinals. So I eliminate them just because, and this is my assumption, but I feel like I'm right on this.
Fair.
I don't know if you're Robert Saleh and you have your pick of a very good job or staying with the Niners. I don't know how you repeat the same mistake of going to a shitty ownership group and having those people have your fate in your hands, even if you do get a chance as a defensive coordinator to get a hold of Myles Garrett and a really, really good Cleveland defense. But I could be wrong.
I wouldn't touch the Cardinals.
No, hell no. No, God knows. No.
And actually, I'm surprised we didn't have. Did we have a firing with the Jets? I don't think.
No. They kept Aaron Glenn.
I'm relatively surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I'm relatively surprised.
Well, I mean, yes, you would expect the Jets to do something rash. I think that I don't know how you blame Aaron Glenn for the Jets being generationally shitty. I'm not saying that Aaron Glenn didn't have something to do with the Jets once again being terrible, but I mean, it's the Jets. It's the Jets. So, Robert Saleh, the chances of him coming back next year to the Niners, I don't know.
Too many good jobs out there.
Put it this way, before that kick was missed in that Steelers-Ravens game, I would have said that there was an 85% that Robert Saleh was coming back to the Niners. With that kick being missed and both of those jobs being open, and now the Buffalo job being open, is less than 50-50 in my book. Who saw that coming? Nobody.
For real.
Nobody.
For real.
Nobody. Moving on. What'd you think of the divisional games last week?
They were all good games. I was that Bears-Rams game. I swear to God, I'm sitting there going, the Bears are, when they got that touchdown to tie it up, like, are we kidding? Is this what we're going to do again? I keep saying it's going to end. It's going to end. And it hadn't ended. Well, this time it ended. And barely.
They can't keep living that way. Yeah.
It cannot keep living that way.
And then how do the Rams win? A team that has lost games because of their horrible special teams play. Yeah. How do the Rams win? On a game-winning field goal from a guy they got off the street 6 weeks ago.
I mean, everything I thought was actually came to fruition. I think I picked the Bears to win that game because I don't believe in the Rams, and the Rams didn't do anything to change my mind. They are the same team. I just don't believe in them. I think that they're going to get worked by the Seahawks.
I don't know if they're going to get worked. I think we're going to see another classic. I think those two teams match up really well against each other because the Rams have, what they have offensively. They can be diverse because they can run the ball, and they have Puka Nacua, and they do have and Devontae Adams. They do have a passing game.
Is he going to be able to play?
Devontae Adams? Yeah, he played. Yeah, he played Saturday. Oh yeah, or something.
I thought he got hurt.
No. He's playing because they have an offense where they can throw the ball and run the ball. Because the Niners so bad with their offensive line, because you just got nothing out of the wide receivers that were against Seattle or by Seattle removed for the second game in a row. They made the Niners one-dimensional, and with Seahawks already being as good as they are defensively, now when they know what's coming, they're damn near unstoppable. The Rams don't have that problem. And while I think Seattle, if we're comparing the two defenses, Seattle's the better defense of the two. The Rams have enough. They have enough guys, and they have enough speed defensively to where they can handle Seattle's speed offensively. So these two teams match up really well. That's why we've seen the games we've gotten out of the two in the regular season. I think we're going to see the exact same thing, where it's going to be a higher scoring game. Playoffs, it'll come back a little bit more. It won't be as crazy as what we saw in one of those regular season games between the Seahawks and the Rams. But I think it's going to be back and forth. Points will be scored. It's going to be a big play game. But, and this just might be recency bias talking, that Seattle defense is, oof, man. I mean, they can, whatever you throw, they can handle it, and they have enough to where they can take away what you want to do. And if you don't have an adjustment, like the Niners didn't have an adjustment, then you're a sitting duck. So and with Seattle being at home too, I see Seattle winning this game. But out of the two championship games, this NFC championship game is going to be an absolute slugfight.
I see a pair of picks coming out of the Rams, and that's going to be it. That'll do it.
I mean, can the Rams on the other side? And yeah, Matthew Stafford is going to win the MVP, but he could still get a wild hair up his ass every now and again. Can the Rams do what the Niners couldn't do twice, Week 18 and then this past weekend? Can the Rams get Sam Darnold to give them the football? To me, the biggest failing for the Niners is that in the Week 18 game and then this past weekend, they didn't get Sam Darnold to give them it, or they didn't take away the ball from Sam Darnold. He gifted them an interception in the Week 18 game, but Ronaldo Green couldn't get his feet down. Obviously, the Niners lost a turnover battle 3-0 in the game this past Saturday. I don't think the Rams are going to allow Sam Darnold, who has led the league in turnovers with 20, I don't think the Rams are going to allow Sam Darnold to have an entire football game to where he doesn't turn the ball over. You get that pick or two from Sam Darnold, does that cancel out Matthew Stafford possibly throwing a pick or two? Maybe, maybe not. I could see this game coming down to who makes a big play defensively, which quarterback makes a big play, and it's probably going to come down to a field goal too, because these two teams I think are evenly matched.
With the way they're playing right now, I just don't see this being a super close game. Now, they are division rivals. They played each other multiple times, but the way these teams are playing, I just can't see the Rams keeping up for the entire game. I can see it being close for 3 quarters, and all of a sudden there's a couple of big defensive plays in the 4th quarter, and then you end up having a 10-point loss for the Rams.
That's fair. AFC Championship game.
Let's go. That was a pick, right? Am I wrong?
By the rule, no. By the rule,
I thought it was a pick. As soon as it happened, I watched it. I'm like, that's a pick. Like,
by the rule, no. He didn't have possession of the ball. Once they got to the ground, the defensive player got possession. That's a pick.
I thought it was a pick. Like, I didn't have any problem with them going, no, it looks to me like an interception.
Yeah.
And you got to hold on to the ball. You can't let somebody take it out your hands. I mean, you got to possess it all the way down to the ground. And I don't think he did. I think it's a pick.
No.
Now, if they had reversed it, I wouldn't have lost my mind over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But for me, replaying that, from what I saw, it wasn't enough to overturn it.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough to that didn't cost them the game. So
no, didn't cost them the game at all. The quarterback play in this divisional round was brutal. It was a tough watch. By the way, Miami just scored again. They still have some work to do. Extra points upcoming, 24-21 if the extra point goes through with 6:37 left to go in the fourth quarter. So game was 10-0 at the half. We're coming up on 24-20 with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter to steal a line from Howard Cosell. What a football game this has turned out to be. Let's move on to Warrior-related matters and All-Star game-related matters. The All-Star starters were...
Wait.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's talk Texans.
No, we don't. For what? Why? Do you just want to make me mad? Huh? Is that what you want?
You think you mad? This I saw somebody say it, and I don't remember who said it, but that person said that 30 other quarterbacks, if they had played for Houston, win that game, and that's the way I felt.
No. He didn't say no. He didn't say 30. He said 31.
31.
Guy on ESPN said that 31 quarterbacks had played that game. All right, if 31 other quarterbacks had started for the Texans, they would have won that game.
Terrible.
That is the single stupidest thing I've heard in a long time. First and foremost, C.J. Stroud was terrible.
Ooh.
He was awful. Drake May wasn't really all that much better either, but we're talking about C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud was absolutely terrible.
He lost the game. I don't say that very often about one player.
Well, here's the thing. He unfortunately had a lot to do with it, and I think that's just the nature of the beast, the nature of the position. But Darryl Stingley Jr., who I love, gave up a touchdown to Keyshawn Boutte. The Texans defense, they were under a ton of pressure because of what they weren't getting from the offense, but you can't put it all on C.J. Stroud's shoulders. The vast majority of it definitely belongs on C.J. Stroud's shoulders. But to say that 31 other quarterbacks could have played in that game and they could have won it, like I said, it's the single stupidest thing I've heard in a long time, because you can't sit here and tell me with a straight face that Geno Smith could have played in that game and won that game. The man who led the league in getting sacked, because sacks is a quarterback stat too, and interceptions.
Geno Smith, I don't even think is he even a quarterback? Like he's. I don't think I saw worse quarterback play this year than Geno Smith, and I'm not exaggerating. I don't think maybe that kid over in Cleveland.
Now, I was just about to say, Shedeur Sanders took some snaps, and I saw him. They weren't all that good, but he's also, a fifth-round rookie draft pick. So
the kid who was before Shedeur Sanders was worse.
Yeah.
God awful.
Well, just different levels of different levels.
But I get his point. Like, he was being hyperbolic, obviously, but I get his point. C.J. Stroud, I don't know what's happened. The decision making was so terrible.
Yeah.
So bad. What happened?
The fall off from C.J. Stroud's rookie year to this now completed year 3 should be studied. And I think it's a couple of things. Different coordinators. Offensive line was not at its best.
They got spanked.
And give the Patriots defense a lot of credit too. All right, it's a good Patriots defense, very good Patriots defense. But he was seeing ghosts, didn't trust the protection. The Texans didn't run the ball, couldn't run the ball the way that they wanted to, and I think the way that they needed to help C.J. Stroud. Yep. And I'm no doctor. He didn't have Nico Collins, and I still think that's a good Texans receiver group, even without Nico Collins. But Nico Collins is special. Didn't have him.
Tight end.
And he Dalton Schultz eventually got hurt, so he didn't have him in the second half of that game. He was not trusting C.J. Stroud, what he was seeing, which meant that he was late. I listened to the game yesterday, and Andre Ware won the Heisman Trophy when he was at the University of Houston, running shoot team in 1989. He does the color commentating, and listening to Andre Ware, he was growing increasingly more frustrated as the game was going on, because he couldn't understand why C.J. Stroud just wasn't seeing the field and why he was late on so many throws. And then that one turnover where he just threw the ball up for grabs that eventually ended up being the pick six. That's the most egregious of them all. I'm not a doctor, but I am going to play one here on YouTube. I think the concussion that C.J. Stroud suffered a few weeks ago to go along with all those other things I mentioned had a lot to do with what we saw yesterday. Wow. But also, again, I think a lot of this is on him in terms of his growth and development as a quarterback, and he has to have a heart-to-heart talk with himself about his shortcomings, because yesterday was not a good look. Not a good look at all.
I also had a little bit of a problem with the play calling. Like, once they saw what was happening, and I know you couldn't run, but I was very surprised they didn't go with more quick hitters and screens and pocket movement just to give this dude a chance. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I have my issues with the offensive coordinator, and this is just a fan in me talking, but I completely agree with you. He didn't get any help, C.J. Stroud, and he definitely didn't help himself. I do not understand why C.J. Stroud doesn't use his legs more, why he didn't run.
Telling you.
And again, I think that has that's the analysis by paralysis, to where he wants to stay in the pocket because you win from the pocket for sure. But I think he's overthinking it a little bit too much. And I don't know if he's a reluctant runner, but it sure seems like he's just not trusting, or he's desiring to get out there and run. I think it's a similar situation with Jalen Hurts, to where there is I got to stay in the pocket. I got to stay in the pocket. And I want to run, but I don't want to run. And the offensive coordinator is also telling you got to stay in the pocket, and there's some disconnect with him. It's not as acute with C.J. Stroud and his offensive coordinator as it is with Jalen Hurts and his offensive coordinator, who eventually got fired. But they're not on the same page for sure in terms of how they want him to play quarterback and how C.J. Stroud wants to play quarterback.
I mean, you got to use this man's talent. Whatever he's great at, you better maximize it. And I don't understand, just like I said, when that second half rolled around, if you're going to keep CJ in there, okay, give him another series or two. If it's not happening, sorry, you got to yank him.
But, and I agree with you. As I said, dudes on the other side, they on scholarship too. Got to give the Patriots credit. That's good defense.
They showed up.
That's why they're going to the Super Bowl. And that's why if they see the Rams, that's why they got a good chance of winning that Super Bowl. That's hypothetical Super Bowl. So
yeah, Denver's a wrap. Like that's a wrap.
Seems that way. Seems that way. Yeah, but again, I mean, when talking about how interesting the quarterbacking was this past weekend in the divisional round, before Bo Nix got hurt, you got the full Bo Nix trick-or-treat experience. He was I mean, he's I think with Bo Nix, like, is the football the Green Goblin mask to him? Like, does he look at it and it just makes him just go crazy? Because he'll be out, and same with Josh Allen too, just be out there just wilding, dog. Just absolutely wilding.
It is funny. They don't jump on Josh Allen like they do these other guys. And I'm not just pulling it out of my ass. Like, I pay attention to this stuff. But Josh Allen is constantly praised. When they lose, he typically does not take a lot of heat for it. No, he blames himself more than certain people in the media. You're right. And then you get Lamar out there, and it's he lets his teammates down. He quit on the team, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, well.
And by the way, he's had as many tough playoff losses as Josh Allen has. But with Josh Allen, poor Josh. But Lamar's got to be better in playoffs. Like, what
there's a really interesting and nuanced discussion that could be had about that. But I just don't have the time, nor do I have the bandwidth to really get into that right now. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Wink.
Yes, sir.
let's get to the Warriors specifically. Let's get to Steph Curry. Let's get to specifically All-Star Wardell, Stephen Curry. The All-Star starters were named today, and you see here the bottom row right there, smack dab in the middle, is your very own Stephen Curry, named to his 12th All-Star game, his 11th time as a starter. See him there with Luka and Shea and Wemby and Nikola Jokic. Eastern Conference starters, Jalen Brunson, Kate Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Tyrese Maxey. Congratulations to Steph. But what's interesting, if you notice, not who's on that list, but who ain't on that list.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards, not on that list. LeBron James, not on that list. Now, there was, I guess it was some sort of a vote off between Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Edwards, and Wemby got the requisite number of votes. That's why he is one of the 5 Western Conference starters. But interesting that Steph is there, and I think it's deserved. And again, it's a popularity contest. It's 50% fan voting, 25% media voting, and 25% current player voting. That's how you get the All-Star starters. But interesting that Steph's there. Like I said, rightfully so. But no Ant, no LeBron.
I didn't think. I mean, well, I can't say I didn't think. I wouldn't. I'm not surprised that he is a starter, but I would not have been surprised if he wasn't.
Same here.
He's a popular guy, and he's having a very good year. You know what's really funny? He's the only American on the team.
I was going to mention that.
I'm like, wait a minute. He's the only American on the squad.
3 Europeans and a dude from America's Attic, aka Canada. Yeah. Now they're gonna do the NBA versus the world thing for the purposes of the game.
That'll be interesting.
For marketing purposes, they're sticking with East and West. But first thing I noticed is that it was Steph surrounded by 4 foreign-born players. And what's hilarious is 30 years ago, you would have never imagined that to be the case.
It wouldn't have happened.
It would have been impossible. You just would not have had enough non-United States born players to fill out a forget about just a couple of guys. You wouldn't have enough to put together 5 players to have a squad to go out there and play USA versus the world. For
real. So this is going to be now. Ant is going to make the team regardless. So let's not go crazy. I don't feel like he was snubbed. If you're an all-star, you're an all-star. The bonus check is still the same, unless it's as a starter that you get that bonus check.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I think Ant's going to be. I think he's going to be okay. But
he'd be all right. He paid up all his child support, so he's got some money left.
Yo, come on, son. Come on, man. 2 minutes left. Indiana 24, Miami 21. Indiana is deep into Miami's red zone. First and 10 from the 12-yard line. So the Hoosiers looking to close this bad boy out here and would definitely like to do it with a touchdown. When that happens, or when the field goal is kicked, or when the game is over, we will pass along that information along to you. All right, everybody, it is time now for Bruh Really, where we will present something to you that will absolutely have you stupefied to the point where you will be just as mystified as Unc was when he was strolling through the airport being filmed surreptitiously while holding a tiny, tiny dog.
Bruh, really?
You will have the exact same reaction as Shannon Sharp when I bring you this little bit of information. Marcus, remember you said earlier that this MLK holiday, you have yet to run across something that makes you angry in terms of this holiday being memorialized or being mentioned, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
You felt like it was a good day because you haven't run across a piece of detritus on social media that just makes you mad about MLK Day. Well, sorry to let you know that I'm about to make you mad. And it actually involves LeBron James. LeBron James has a new colorway coming out for his signature shoe. And it's a colorway that is designed to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. I am going to put up this graphic with the shoe, and you will see why this shoe and this colorway and this honor is being roundly denounced. And you will have the exact same reaction that Shannon Sharpe had when he was being surreptitiously filmed while walking through an airport baggage claim area.
Bro, really?
Behold the LeBron James Honor the King colorway. What do you notice about the color of that shoe?
Oh, man. No.
It's the same. What is that? Let's call it aqua blue color. It's the same color as the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. The Lorraine Motel, for those of you who don't know, where Dr. Martin Luther King was cut down by an assassin's bullet on April 4th, 1968. I can think of different ways to honor Dr. King. I can think of much better ways to do that.
That's rough.
Than using the color for your shoes to represent the place where he was assassinated.
That's rough.
Bro.
And
really?
LeBron is usually on point with his PR stuff. He doesn't really make big boo-boos like this, but this is, yeah.
Come on, what are we doing?
You got to think this through.
What? How do you even put that on your feet?
You gotta think through.
Come on.
Why not just put a bullet hole in the side of the shoe too? Why not just do that?
Yeah.
Why not do that?
With splotches of red on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a rough one. And you can't take it back. But now,
no, it's out there. No,
yeah,
it's out there.
And
when I saw this earlier today, I'm like, okay, I got to do my due diligence here. I'm going to do a cursory search to see if this is some trickery.
Yeah.
To see if this is, people goofing on the internet.
The AI.
No, it's real. It's real.
That's
like I said, I told you it was going to make you do this.
Yeah.
Bro, really?
Bruh. Really?
I'm less angry and more like disappointed and like, you didn't see this through? Like, you didn't think this through? I'm sure the King family doesn't go, oh, this is amazing tribute. Thank you, LeBron.
I mean, how does this reach your desk? And you go, okay. Like it's just I don't know. Maybe I am giving myself too much credit and I'm not giving LeBron enough grace. And I say I'm giving myself too much credit. Okay, so Indiana kicks a field goal. So it is 27-24, 142 left. Miami has no timeouts, and they have to score a touchdown to win the national championship, or Indiana, who's 100 to 1 to win the national championship before the season started. Even though Indiana had a very good year last year, Indiana 100 to 1 long shot, the longest of shots to win the national championship. Will pull off one of the greatest feats in not just college football history, but American sports. But I say, maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, and I'm not giving LeBron enough grace. And I say maybe I'm giving myself too much credit because I'm saying if somebody gave me this shoe and said this shoe is to honor Dr. King, is it okay? Like the first thing I would say was, it seems like that's part of the color scheme of the Lorraine Motel. I would like to think that would be my immediate reaction, but maybe I wouldn't. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just giving myself too much credit.
Now,
maybe I'm not giving LeBron enough grace to say that it didn't compute. You know, it didn't measure. And that would be a failing of LeBron, just like it would be a failing of me if I were in that position. But LeBron's got people around him, right? Like it's like
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm like you. I can't really get mad about this.
Yeah.
I'm just baffled and bemused more than anything else.
Yeah. And hasn't that been turned into a museum?
Yes, it's a National Civil Rights Museum.
Museum. Okay, so so maybe that was what he was thinking. I don't know. But it's a faux pas.
Okay, you know what? All right. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad we brought this up because, of course, we love to poke fun at LeBron anytime we get a chance. Yeah. And anytime I get to use this.
Really?
I'm going to do it. But you know what? That's a good point, and that's why I wanted to have this discussion with you, and talk about it on the show, because there could be a point of view that I didn't see. And while it still does kind of seem because that's the place where Dr. King was murdered, because the Lorraine Motel is a very important place in this country still to this day, because it is the National Civil Rights Museum. Maybe that's the direction they're going in. Yeah. Okay. I still wouldn't wear it. I still wouldn't put it out. But if that's where they're going, okay, I'm cool. I'm somewhat cool with it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but the problem is most folks, when they think of Lorraine Motel, they think of the assassination and not the whole museum aspect.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Nice try, Ron.
I didn't think that there would be anything worse than LeBron. Remember when he wore the suit, but the pants were shorts? Remember that? Remember when he tried to make that a thing?
I hated that. That was like a little trend with. Oh, and the funny thing is, it was only NBA dudes doing it. Draymond did that shit too.
I was just about to remember. I was just about to say, remember, Draymond did it too.
Listen, if you're not Boys to Men, don't do the blazers and shorts combo.
If you're not Richie Rich, never do the suit where the pants are shorts. Okay, that's the only. Not a real person, but that's the only figure that can wear a suit that's short. Okay, it's the richest child in the history of mankind, Richie Rich. No one else can do that. You look stupid unless you're Richie Rich. All right. But yeah, I didn't think I would see anything worse than LeBron wearing a suit where the pants are shorts. This is worse.
That was a hideous combo.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't need to see your knees when you're wearing a suit. I just feel like we don't need to do that. How about we do some on this day?
Yeah, man.
Before we get out of here on this day, January 19th, on this date, January 19th. You know what? Let's get the bad parts out of the way, and let me preemptively apologize to you, Marcus, and say that I'm sorry. But on this date in 2002, in snowy Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, my bad. Raiders got robbed.
This is awful.
Blitz. Lost the football. It's on the ground. Covered by the Raiders.
His college teammate, Charles Woodson, on the blitz.
Now, let's stop right here. Oh, we'll let it play, and we'll talk over this. Marcus, what were you doing at this point?
Tom Brady never sees him.
After you saw this, because I'm assuming you saw this live. After you saw this play
live,
what were you doing?
Well, right here, I was like, what is there to review? That was about the reviewing.
You're thinking Raiders going to the AFC Championship game, right? Back in Oakland. This is great, right? You were jumping up and down, right?
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Well,
that is a wrap.
And then this happens.
Highway robbery. Oh, my guy, Greg Beekert. I love Beekert.
And then this graphic pops up. It says under review, and they start looking, and they keep looking, and they keep looking, and they see this, which, by the way, still looked like a fumble to me. However, this play literally changed NFL history, because if this play is not improperly adjudicated, they don't go to the Super Bowl. Now, they probably go to the Super Bowl a little bit later on, but the dynasty doesn't start for the Patriots when it did.
The quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass.
On
The
this
ball
date,
wasn't in his hand when it was going forward. It wasn't even in his hand when it was going forward. That's what made me so mad. It wasn't in his hand. Yes. Anybody can say my arm was going forward. This is insanity. Insanity.
I'm sorry, brother.
That's twice. The Raiders launched 2 dynasties on goofy plays. Interception by Indiana. Game over.
Yep, game over. The Indiana Hoosiers will be the college football national champions. 27-21. Carson Beck just threw a game-losing interception. Yeah.
That is
crazy that
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a different time to where in college football you can buy players, and with the transfer portal, it's not crazy that a team could go from terrible to good in the stretch of a couple of years.
Wow.
The fact that it's the Indiana University Hoosiers, a basketball school that really hasn't been good at basketball in a long time, a perennial dog shit football program, one of, if not the losingest Division I college football program of all time.
They flashed a couple of decent years the past few years.
No. The last bowl game they went to was 30 years ago, like the Copper Bowl. The last Rose Bowl they went to, or the last time they won the Big Ten, was in the mid or early 60s. Indiana football has been terrible since the beginning of Indiana football. It's only been the last couple of years. This year, spectacularly, and last year when they bubbled up and went to the college football playoff, lost in the first round to Notre Dame. It's only been these last couple of years where Indiana football has been a bully. I mean, they kick your ass on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and Indiana football has been formidable. And again, you can buy players, you can handpick players, you could go and get what you need from the portal, and Indiana has done that. They have a bunch of guys who are in their early, some guys are in their mid-20s. They built a football program to win a national championship in 2 years. And it's Indiana University. That's wild. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. On this date, January 19th, 2026, the Indiana Hoosiers are the best college football team in the United States of America.
That's crazy.
You know what? That's pretty damn cool. And you know what? So glad Alabama didn't win. A&M didn't win. Ole Miss, Georgia, Notre Dame. I keep going on down the list.
Yeah. This actually makes it interesting. It makes it very interesting. Anybody can pick this thing up and win it, except for Oregon. I don't know.
All that money. What's the old joke? Infinite uniform combination, zero national championships. Yeah. If you're USC, you should feel like complete and total crap right now. Indiana's national. If you're Notre Dame, you should feel awful right now.
100%.
Indiana, 100%. National champions.
USC, no excuses for USC.
No excuses.
No excuses. Not only do they have the money, but the players are in their backyard.
In your backyard. Absolutely.
They're in their backyard.
On this date in 2002, the Raiders got jobbed. The Tuck Rule game happened on this date all the way back in 2002. On this date in 2004, Howard Dean's political career ended with a scream.
Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
He got caught up.
Hey, man, we've all been there. We've all had too much dip on our chip. You know, we're feeling good. Things are going well for us. And we just step out just a little bit too far. And I want to go back to the end. It's not the yell that gets me. It's the satisfied look on his face of, man, I did that shit. All right. Yeah. I named a bunch of states, and that's the perfect speech. Just look at he is so happy and satisfied with himself and what he nailed did. It. Having no idea that not only did he kill his chances of being president, he absolutely murdered his entire political career. The look on his face after he screams tells you everything you need to know.
Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Look, he looks back like, yeah, I did that shit. Y'all see your boy. That's right. And you ain't president. No more. That's it. It's not going to happen, champ.
Well, remember how easy it was to get disqualified as a candidate?
You know how quaint it was when we would judge presidential candidates on whether they screamed and it was so weird, ridiculous. or Mike Dukakis looking stupid in a tank with a helmet on, or Dan Quayle not being able to spell the word potato. Remember when politics was funny and quaint? It ain't funny and quaint no more.
Oh, man.
Look, the look on his face. He's like, I nailed this shit, son.
Got him. Got him.
Howard Dean's like, I'm the coldest motherfucker out here.
You know, he went home that night and played that video hella times too.
All the
time. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
Ain't nobody touch Howard Dean when he got a mic in his hand, son. That's how good I am at this game. You can't stop me.
Take back the White House.
Oh man, what I wouldn't give to have Howard Dean in the White House right now. On this date, Howard Dean screamed and killed his chances of being president and murdered his political career. On this date, January 19th, 2004. Speaking of screaming, on this date in 2014, sorry, Niner fans, but I'll make it up to you in the next on this date or the on this date after this. But on this date in 2014, Richard Sherman cut a promo on Michael Crabtree.
When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick. LOB.
All right, and Joe, back over to you.
On this date in 2014, after beating the Niners, Richard Sherman, Seahawks, and Niner legend,
that's amazing.
Told maybe 50 million Americans that he don't like Michael Crabtree. Michael Crabtree ain't shit, and Michael Crabtree better keep his name out of his mouth.
Michael Crabtree was not a beloved guy.
No.
He had problems with so many dudes in the NFL, like all over the place. Like, wow.
Yeah. I love the look on Aaron. The look on Aaron Andrews' face right. She's at this point in time, she knows that she has no control over this post-game interview. All right, none whatsoever. And someone who has done this before, sideline reporting and interviewing, there is no more helpless feeling than when the person you are supposed to be interviewing, which means you have control of the situation, you're asking the questions, you're holding the mic. You are the person in control. That feeling of when you lose control of an interview is one of the worst feelings, professional feelings in the absolute world. And this look on Aaron Andrews' face is the visual personification of I have lost control of this interview. The look on her face, because see right here, she's leaning in, she's listening, like I'm asking a question, I'm about to get some good information, I'm gonna hit him with a follow-up question. I'm banging this thing out, right? Like she's leaning in, she's listening earnestly, and then Richard Sherman starts to go in. Right, and then right there, she's like, "Yeah, it's a wrap." I am not in control of this situation anymore.
Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna shut it for you real quick. LOB.
All right, and Joe, back over to you.
And that was it. That's it. On this date, January 19th, 2014, Richard Sherman let 50 million Americans know he don't fuck with Michael Crabtree like that.
Man, let him have it too. I love it. Love it. Love it. Let him have it.
Let him have it. All right, Niner fans, I told you I was going to make it up to you on this date in 2020, a game Richard Sherman actually played in and got an interception. The Niners beat the Packers 37-20 to win the NFC Championship and go to the Super Bowl.
He's gone.
Raheem Mostert, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns, and it was a rout from start to finish. Marcus, I was looking at this video earlier, and I'm going to start it over, and so you can see what I saw, and the viewers can see what I saw, and talk about this Niner team that we saw get manhandled by the Seahawks and what they need to do going forward. I want you to watch this video, and what's going to jump out at you, 2 things. The offensive line for the Niners was outstanding. Look at this play right here, and look at how they have just opened up any lane that Mostert wants to go through on 3rd and 8. All right? Look at all that room he has to run. The Niners up front were manhandlers, and the speed that the Niners had offensively was absolutely outstanding. Watch this video, watch the offensive line, watch the speed this Niner offense plays with, and think about what we saw on Saturday night against the Seahawks. Niners don't have that speed at running back right now. As great as Christian McCaffrey is, they don't have that speed at running back right now. They don't have that kind of offensive line right now. Watch this offensive line. Look at you don't even see Packers jerseys. What are the Niners missing now? Look at that hole, dude. What are the Niners missing right now? Offensive line play, speed. This is what they had on this date 6 years ago.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is what they're missing 6 years later. Come on, look at this.
This is like those are Emmitt Smith holes.
Yeah. If Christian McCaffrey, who, as I said, look Christian McCaffrey was one of the most contacted running backs, along with Saquon Barkley, interestingly enough. One of the most contacted running backs at or behind the line of scrimmage. If Christian McCaffrey had this kind of offensive line to run behind, Christian McCaffrey would have had 1,400 yards running. Why did the Niners beat the Packers on this date, January 19, 2020? Because of that offensive line and that team speed. Yeah. The Niners need to compete with the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams going forward. They need offensive line play like this, and they have got to find a way to get some team speed, like they had on this date when they beat the Packers 37-20 to win the NFC Championship game, January 19, 2020.
They cannot stop the run.
It was just an ass kicking from beginning to end. And by the way, that's only the first half. We'll stop it there.
As a defense, there is no more helpless feeling than to have somebody just run it all over you.
Yeah.
It's so deflating to just watch a team just run all over you and pretty much get whatever they want on the ground.
And everybody knew it because what were the Niners doing? They were protecting Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
They didn't want Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the ball. I'm thinking, it's just popped into my head, this championship game against the Packers, the divisional game they had against the Vikings. I think Garoppolo only completed 10 passes, or maybe only threw 10 passes.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines. I'm not saying the Niners should or are going to be able to get back to that type of offense. I think they're beyond that now. And I think because of what they have in terms of Brock Purdy's skill set at quarterback, they don't have to go back. They don't need to go back to that. But boy, oh boy, just think of how much better they would be and how much more they'd be able to compete with a team like Seattle if they had a run game that was 50% of what we saw on this date all the way back in 2020.
Yeah. The good old days, Niner fans.
The good old days. So there you go. On this date, January 19th, 2002, Tuck Rule game. 2004, Howard Dean ended his career with a scream. 2014, Richard Sherman ranting about how sorry Michael Crabtree is. And on this date, 2020, the Niners beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl.
This is
interesting
that Kyle doesn't get to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, absolutely. After making the playoffs, it was either feast or famine. Niners get into the playoffs, they go to the NFC Championship game. If they don't make the playoffs, if they don't, they just don't make the playoffs. Interestingly enough, Marcus, I don't think anything happened in the year 2020 of significance at all. Yeah, I think it was just 2020 was just a normal year. There was nothing earth-shattering and life-changing that happened globally in the year 2020 at all. It was just
at all.
Yeah, it was just a normal year.
It's like a Disney film. Everything was so perfect.
All right, let's do the best thing I've seen today and get the hell out of here. Best thing I've seen today, just something I ran across on the internet, made me happy, and I want to share it with you so it can not only be the best thing that I've seen today, it can be the best thing that you have seen today. Best thing I've seen today is this video that is not a heated debate, but a spirited, passionate debate about which is the better chicken joint, Popeyes or Church's Chicken. And who are the debaters of this very important subject? Juvenile, Manny Fresh, and Currency. Who else would have an impassioned discussion about who got the best yard bird and biscuits, Popeyes or Church's? Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
I ain't gonna lie, Churches, bro. I fuck with the biscuit, and I like fried okra.
So look,
Popeye never had fried okra. I love fried okra.
I'm halfway with shit. I like Church's rice.
All right.
I like the rice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been stuck
But how
on
you
that.
feel about the honey butter biscuit as opposed
that's
to the
what I'm about to
Popeye?
tell you. So I like Church's biscuit too.
That bitch be
So
falling apart, and you see the honey. The honey is into the dough of the biscuit.
Everything
They're
else
not
on
brushing
Popeye.
it like I see the Popeyes commercial. They brush the butter on that bitch.
Remember
this shit inside it. It's like a
Popeyes for the
dessert.
ballers, the ghettos eat Churches.
For sure, I can dig
You
it.
dig?
And
So
that
I'm
motherfucking
half and half,
biscuit
dog.
is like a dessert.
I'm from the ghetto,
That's
but I'm
a
balling.
dessert biscuit. And fried okra. You know,
That fried okra, yeah, bro. And look, Churches. Only thing I don't mess with from Churches, man, is that damn chicken wing.
All right.
Ain't no chicken wing that damn big.
Well, when you
Bigger
look
than the
at the
breast.
value,
The biggest piece supposed to
you're
be
not
the breast.
supposed to get 25 pieces of chicken.
That's the best thing I've seen today, and I'm pretty damn certain that's the best thing all of y'all have seen today. That was a very reasoned and impassioned discussion between three guys who I would dare say are experts on fried chicken and biscuits. Juvenile, the great Manny Fresh, and Currency. Great points were made by both men. I can't find a loser in that debate at all, Mark.
It's Popeyes. It's always Popeyes. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, but Currency got a real good point about the biscuits. The Popeyes chicken is superior to Church's. You know, I was always told growing up, because Church's chicken pieces are bigger. I was always told growing up, and I'm not making this up. I was always told that the reason Church's chicken pieces are bigger is because they use bleach to swell them up. Now, I don't believe that to be true. I'm pretty sure there is no scientific evidence that bleach makes chicken swell up before you fry it. But where I grew up, on the south side of Houston, Texas, shout out Sunnyside, shout out South Park, shout out South Acres, where the great Scarface of the Ghetto Boys is from. I was told that the reason Church's chicken pieces is so big is because they use bleach, which meant that me and mine's, we were a Popeyes family. But Currency does bring up, Marcus, a very good point about Church's honey butter biscuits.
Listen,
them bad boys do be bussing. They do be bussing.
Listen, here's the thing. It's a valid point. As my pops, when I was a kid, he was a Church's guy. So pops would bring home Church's chicken all the time. And the biscuits, they was good. However, overall, like Popeyes gives you the chicken and they give you the sides. And I think the biscuits may be the only sides that Church's has on Popeyes. The
so
real
you're not feel-
is Popeyes or KFC. That's where it really boils down to.
Now, see, I to me, there's no contest. It's always going to be Popeyes.
Of course it is.
The real question is Popeyes and what you know about that crispy, crunchy chicken you can get from gas stations. What you know about
that's a whole nother level of chicken. Nothing.
It's S tier chicken is what it is. Popeye, like, see, here's the problem with Popeye. See, look at us. We're having our own impassioned discussion about chicken. On this day where we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, by the way, that's the kind of show you're watching right now. The problem with Popeyes is this: quality control has gone downhill over these last few years.
You are not lying. One Popeyes can be amazing. The next one will be like, wait, what is this?
The quality can vary at the same Popeyes. You could go to Popeyes and it could be hitting, and then you could go there 3 days later and it not be hitting. What's up with that?
And I'm like, what is going on? This is unacceptable. I mean, if I could complain to the Popeye gods anywhere, I'm like, yes, quality control is the thing you need to be worried about. Talk to your franchise owners because they hurt you, man.
Exactly. There you go. See, that's what we want to do here on this show. We want to start debate and we want to make you think. And we are happy and we are glad that we can engage in a reasoned and passionate discussion about who got that best yard bird, just like Manny Fresh, Juvenile, and Currency did when they had a discussion about who got it better, Popeyes or Church's chicken. That is the best thing that I've seen today.
Facts.
There you go. And we did it for you, Dr. King. We did it for you. Because without you, we wouldn't be able to have this discussion, now, would we?
Not at all.
Nope.
Man, fried chicken is the single thing that keeps me from even thinking about being vegetarian. I am not willing to give that up.
It's like people like, man, I'd be a Muslim, but I don't want to give up bacon. I get it. I understand
That's
it.
right.
I understand it. So there you go. And I think that's a good way to end. We'll stop there before we get ourselves in trouble. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers, college football's national champions. It's a different world we live in right now. It is a completely and totally different world. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, as always, the fine folks at Hot Bunk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from in Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato. If you can't get to one of those locations, make sure you follow them on all of the socials or see what they have coming up as far as live entertainment is concerned at hopmonk.com. How about we get together and do this on Thursday? How are we feeling about that? We good?
Let's do it.
All right, we shall do it Thursday. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you on Thursday. Have a fantastic rest of your week. And as always, remember, be good and be good at it. We'll see you.